What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Stephman here for Relics of Ore. Remember to check us out at www.relicsofore.com. And today we are hosting the Tyria Times news show. So, I suppose you all expect me to talk a lot about Flaming Frost. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but not a hell of a lot, because I think most of what's been said is true and accurate. People have expressed on a larger scale the same opinions as me. So let's go through and run down real quick. I'll throw up little comments over here so you can see everything. So first things first, Temple of the Silent Storms week. From January 28th to February 4th, regular 8-team free-round paid tournaments will be replaced by 2-team single-round paid tournaments in the Temple of the Silent Storm. What does this mean? This means normal PvP has been ripped out for the week, and they put this new system in, which is 1-round paid tournament. So 1 team versus 1 team, winner takes all. Now what they did say about this is that rewards would scale to reflect how much effort is actually going into the tournament. So you're going to get lower tier rewards because you're only fighting 1 team instead of it being 3 rounds with 4 teams involved. I think my math's right. If it's wrong, meh. So let's go into the next thing, the approved achievement system. So now we're getting new dailies and monthlies, and we get little rewards for these called laurels. Now there's been some controversy over some of the daily achievements because some of them, let's be honest and frank, have been rather stupid and have not functioned correctly, such as the combo fields achievement, which took me and Evie about an hour to do, maybe, because the combo fields weren't being received properly. What it turns out with them is the combo field had to do the last point of damage, and if you killed it in any other way, it didn't count. So me as a warrior, I was going into Evie's poison combo field with my big giant greatsword, doing my swirly whirly justice spin. And if I killed it with the sword instead of the little particle effects that come off it going through the combo field, it did not count. But that has luckily been resolved, and they've removed that achievement from the system. So next thing, laurels. Laurels are wonderful things that we are getting for the daily achievements, and they can be spent on a wide variety of things, from crafting mats to ascended stuff to all sorts of amazing things. Now there's only one problem I can see with the current system, and that is the loot boxes for armour and weapons. There is loot boxes there that cost 5 tokens that give you a chance at a rare or exotic weapon. Now I can see a lot of people using this to farm ectos. I mean, it's fairly expensive, 5 days work for 2 weapons because you get 2 boxes. But I can see people using it as is a little bit of extra gold for me. So anyway, on to the next thing, guesting. Can't say any more about that. Everything that needs to be said has been said. Guesting is here, and it is wonderful. I look forward to playing with some of you on other servers at some stage. New utility slots and infusions added to Ascended Amulets. Okay, so Ascended Amulets are something you can get through the laurels, and it's basically another piece of gear that's got a special infusion slot. There's 5 new infusions for it. Most of them add a +1 or 2 to whatever stat you want, but the very interesting one is the +20% magic find, because that's a lot of magic find. So that, along with your magic find food and your magic find armor, people are going to be raking in a lot of magic. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing. Gem store, Quag and Backpack, Witch's Broom, whoopity-doo. Nothing for me there. So, now we're going to talk a little bit about stuff that's been going on in the community. Relics of Ore recently got a shotgun interview with ArenaNet, where they sent them questions, ArenaNet sent them answers. Make sense? I'm sure it does. And within that, we've got a couple of little interesting tidbits, such as an exclusive talking about the next minigame. Minigames for achievements. And that will be a bar brawl type game with rewards and a title unlock called The Bouncer. But that's really fun. I love the little mini games. If you want to read the full article, there will be a link in the description. There is some really interesting stuff in there to read, and I don't want to go over it all because I want to send some traffic to those guys because they deserve it. They're putting a lot of work to get this interview. I think Shonga Q said it took him 28 days to get ArenaNet to do this little interview with him, with back and forth through email, so that's a wonderful thing. Congratulations, Relics of Awe. And that's about all I've got for you today. There's not been a lot of news. I'm going to talk a little bit before I go about the new living story content, because it's a bit controversial in some ways. The living story content is new content that Guild Wars has had added to itself. And what it is basically a story that will progress over time. Now, the first stage, let's be frank, has been boring. There's been very little lore or story associated with it up to now, which is very disappointing. Now, the first stage, you pretty much run around, fix signs, help refugees, and that's about it. So, hopefully the next stage is a bit more exciting. But there is some concerns with this. With this being described as a rollout that will happen over weeks and months rather than a few days, there's worries that it might in fact roll out too quickly or too slowly. The problem ArenaNet have got in this situation is judging how quickly to release it, because obviously some people want the content, they're rushing through the content. We want more story, we want more lore. Other people are a bit slower, so there's a fine balance there between releasing it quick enough to keep people interested, but slow enough so everybody can enjoy it. My apologies for the quick jump cut there. I coughed into the mic and didn't want to destroy your ear holes. So yes, as I was saying, the Flame of Frost Prelude event, the live story, it's been a little bit too wishy-washy for my liking, but they have said on the forums that this is a very small chunk, and over the coming month or two we will see big story arcs leading off of this. Now, what do you think the Flame of Frost story could be about? Is it Jormag? I honestly don't know. There's not enough information there. One thing I am very disappointed about is you can't turn around to a refugee and say, look bro, why the hell are you leaving your homelands? And find out a little bit more about why they're all coming to us. But that's that, and they have said that there will be more story, not over the next few days, but over the coming weeks and months as it evolves, because this content is designed to be rolled out gradually and subtly, so you'll notice changes like one day there may be a new building somewhere or a new NPC somewhere, so keep your eyes peeled for changes in the landscape. So on to community things. I've got 2 pieces of community stuff for you today. So the first one is a shotgun interview with ArenaNet by Relics of Awe, which I've already mentioned. You can check that out at www.relicsofawe.com, and they have some wonderful information in there, so I recommend you go and have a look. The second one is a little musical composition called Fear Not This Night, and it's a Guild Wars 2 cover by Taylor Davis, Laura and Maluka, and it was absolutely amazing. One of the best covers I've heard up to now. I'll play you 30 seconds of that and then we'll finish up.
Fear not this night, you will not go astray. Though shadows fall, still the stars find their way. Awaken from a quiet sleep, hear the whispering of the wind. Awaken as the silence grows in the solitude of the night. Darkness spreads throughout the land and you're weary eyes.
Okay, and on with the end of the show. Thank you very much for watching, folks. If you like the show, please leave a like and a comment. I'm sorry it's not been too in-depth this week, but it has been very news light. As more news comes, I'll bring you more shows. If you see an interesting piece of news, leave me a comment below or send me a PM and I'll be sure to feature it in your name. Also, we're discussing new projects within Relics of Ore that we can bring to light, maybe a talk show, a call-in show, something like that. So if you have any ideas for shows like that you would like us to do, again, leave a comment below, and remember to check out relicsofore.com for Guild Wars goodness. They have a podcast, and they are now doing interviews with ArenaNet. They're going up in the world. Anyway, I'm out, folks. Thanks for watching the Tyria Times, and I look forward to seeing you next time, if there's actually some news. Take it easy, guys. Have a good day.
Oh, it's just a sunrise away.